Okay, good morning class. So today we're looking at exponential and log functions. At this point we have completed examples for exercise 1. Then we had some load shedding yesterday and the day before. So exercise 2 and the examples for exercise 2 and exercise 3 I will probably do towards the end of this lesson. Bearing there's enough time to do so. But now we're going to look at log functions. So yesterday we looked at functions or exponential functions and we did its inverse, which is the log function. And the inverse of the log function is the exponential function. The only time you work out the inverse function and there's a log, the only time is when you're busy with exponents. Okay? Because sometimes we test you on parabolas and its inverses, then you get a log. Or we test it on straight line graphs and then you land up with a log. The only time you are tested on, the only time your function becomes an inverse for a log, it is when you are busy with exponential functions. Okay, you guys understand? So that said, let me just get my charger. So today we're looking at the examples. Supposed to be graphs, log graphs. So we're looking at the examples for exercise 4. Good morning.
You said you wanted to do the grade 9 paper.
Grade 9 paper. Also, did you have a look at the grade, did I give you the grade 12 paper 2 already? No? I did at the beginning of the term. Didn't I? Okay.
I got your cycle test, but I haven't got any exams.
Okay, because I said that in the holiday already.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'll give it to you sometime today.
Okay.
What time is the third period, the second last period starting? Are we having break as normal or we need this now push it back? Because I would need to leave at 12:30.
12:30, yeah, it should start at 12:30, or break should start at 12:30.
Yeah, if that
but
is...
if it's shifted, then
know,
just let the girls know, or just send your whatever class you have to the library.
Okay.
It should be fine.
Thank you. Okay, so exercise 4 is on page 55. Sorry about that. And the example is on page 54. Alright. I'm going to pause this and we will discuss this. If you need the full lesson, you can find the description box below. Alright. So that basically brings us to the worked example. And the worked example is on page 54. Okay? Okay, so it says use a table to plot the graph of y is equal to log x base 2 or x is equal to 2 to the y. And log x base 2 or x is equal to a half to the y on the same set of axes. The graphs are drawn on the next page. Okay, so we're going to draw the graph for you. Okay, it says use a table. So we are more familiar with exponential functions, we are more familiar with exponential functions. So what we do is we take this graph here, for this function of y equals log x base 2. And I work out its inverse function. Okay? So what do we do for the inverse function? Interchange x and y. So we have x is equal to log y base 2. So therefore, y is equal to 2 to the x. Can you see that? So y is equal to 2 to the x. That is its inverse function. So what I do is I now draw a table. That's an x and a y. That is negative 1, 0 and 1. Which is going to give me a half, 1 and 2. Yes. Okay. We swap x and y around. Alright. Are we drawing the function or are we drawing the inverse function? The function. So in other words, are we drawing the log graph or the exponential graph? Which graph must we draw? Why the exponential? Remember the question says use your table to plot a graph of y is equal to log x base 2. So what graph must we draw? The log graph, the function. Can you see that, people? This is the inverse function here. This is, yes?
So if it's inverse, isn't y supposed to be negative 1, 0, 1? If it's inverse.
I'm getting it. You're getting yourself confused. If the function was the exponential function, its inverse is the log. Now we are given the log function. So what is its inverse? The exponential. Makes sense now? Okay, sorry about that. So now if I look at the function, okay, then the graph I must be drawing is what? This is going to be negative 1, 0 and 1 of 1 and 2. So this is the graph I must be drawing. You guys understand? Okay. So let's draw the graph. That's y and that's your x. So we have, it goes to 1, 2. So if I draw this graph, I'm going to draw it from these points here, okay? Remember, this is the log graph. If x is half, y is negative 1. If x is 1, y is 0. If x is 2, y is 1. Can you see? So the graph is coming through like that. Whoops. So it's basically a smooth curve going through that. Okay. And this is the log x base 2 graph. You guys understand? Alright, so I'm going to do it again, but on the other one I'm going to remove the calculator from the video, from the screen. Okay. So let's look at the other graph we must draw. Okay, people, there is other ways of doing it, okay, but I find this to be the easiest approach. Okay. So let's look at that graph. Okay, which is y equals log x base half. So what do I do first? We work out the inverse function. Why? Because that's exponential. And we are more familiar with the exponential graph than the log graph. Not so? Unless you take the time and you go learn all the rules. Then you can draw the exponential graph from, you can draw the log graph without the exponential graph. Okay? But to me it's just easier this way. You are really not studying your normal maths. So I don't think you'll study over and above what you need to know. Okay. So what we do for inverse functions, we interchange x and y. So you've got x is equal to log y base half. So make y the subject of the formula, y is equal to half raised to the exponent x. So what do? We draw a table. What goes in the table? X and y. Minus 1, 0 and 1. It corresponds with 2, 1 and half. So now we're drawing this graph. Are we drawing the exponential graph? No, we are drawing the log graph. That is what I'm interested in. So the function would simply be x and y. So minus 1, 0 and 1 corresponds with 2, 1 and half. Okay. So if x is 2, y is negative 1. Here's 2 and negative 1. If x is 1, y is 0. If x is a half, y is 1. Can you see that? So again, it's a smooth curve going through like it. And this is your graph. Y is equal to log x by so on. Okay. People, what is the relationship that exists between these two graphs? It's a reflection in the x-axis. As you can see, reflection in the x-axis, y becomes negative. And that's how we draw this graph. Kelsey, why are you looking so confused, my God?
No, I'm not confused.
That's just a look.
I'm paying attention.
Are you paying attention? Thank you. So you understand?
Yeah.
Any confusion? Let's look at y is equal to log x base 2. Increasing or decreasing? The red one. Increasing. And the blue one? Decreasing. Okay. Why? So as x increases, the graph is increasing. It becomes an increasing function. The graph is decreasing. You can consider it as a decreasing function. Okay. People, any confusion there? With that, you should be able to do exercise 4. Stop the video at this point. If you want the full lesson, it will be found in the description box below.